think I see the top of Dave Smith's eyes. There he
That
is.
better? That's better?
Much better.
Okay.
So is everybody doing all right?
So far.
Good.
Were you able to get it, Jerry? Okay. Dave, have either you or your wife experienced any long-term effects of having COVID?
No, not really. You know, I mean, it took Janet a long time to get over the coughing, but I guess that's pretty common when you're having that kind of effect. And mine, it just took a long time to get my physical strength back.
Okay, I see that. You have me in stereo now, so I'm gonna cut one off.
Okay. Hi, Clayton.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Hi,
Hi,
Susan.
Ken, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Cutting it close on time here, but I made it
With minutes to spare.
with minutes to spare. I couldn't get pulled out at the Land Harbor main entrance. Honestly, I sat there and waited and waited. It's just that way some days.
Well, one thing that we certainly have had a lot of is traffic.
No question.
Yeah, so that you know, we are live streaming because Dennis is doing 2 meetings simultaneously. He's doing, I guess, the Board of Education meeting and us at the same time.
But somebody commented on traffic. I think that's a good indicator. I gotta do something about my audio.
There's Melinda. Hi, Melinda.
Hello.
I think we need everybody to mute their mics. We're getting some feedback.
It's my fault.
Susan, are you ready?
I'm ready. 5 o'clock straight up.
Yep. Well, we do have a quorum, so I will declare this February meeting of the Avery County Economic Development Committee as being open. And as usual, would entertain a motion to either approve or amend the minutes of our January 26th meeting. There's
Move to
Kate.
approve.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, guys.
Clayton, you made a motion.
Yes, I move to approve.
Do we have a second? Jerry seconds. A show of hands, please, in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, I'll start with unfinished business. Obviously, the big topic of conversation is the website development. Boomer had promised that he was going to have his estimate and a timeline to me today. When I didn't have it by after lunch, I texted him, and what he said is, we've got a lot of work in it already. He has a test site up, and I'll be sharing that with the committee in the next day or so, as soon as I can get the correct address. So that will be exciting. We'll start to proof it and probably tweak it here and there. And I know that so that everyone knows, both Philip and Dennis Aldridge are attending a Board of Education meeting up at the community center or in Cooperative Extension Building. So that's why they are not here this afternoon. So sitting here before you is Susan and I. Again, as we did last time, just have to commend Avery County for the incredible job that they have done with the COVID-19 vaccinations. And Philip said that both the portable units are going to be going out by the end of the week. They have just done a wonderful job. I don't think there's been a single complaint that I'm aware of relative to how this has been handled, given the amount of dosages that we've received. Kate, anything new on Main Street America?
No, Main Street America has not put up any funds yet, and they are not doing a cycle yet. They're still waiting to see what happens with the pandemic, so there's nothing that we can do at this moment.
Okay, all right, then we'll just keep it on hold. Thank you, Kate. Eric, of course, is going to do us a very good and large presentation, I think, when we can all meet together again. I suspect we'll probably do at least one more meeting like this, and then we'll see what Governor Cooper has in store for us. And hopefully we're not going to be too many more months before we can all come back in this room and be together again. I spoke with Philip before he left relative to any new developments, and as anybody that's been in Newland recently can see, the Bojangles is now actually going up. We can see lots of wood and siding and so on, so that's going full bore. We are assuming that O'Reilly Auto Parts is still going to be a go, probably later this spring or summer. And I don't think I have much more than that. I know that Structall is, I always see a little bit of work there, and it looks like the build-out is underway. Dave, anything you want to chime in on in any of all of your efforts?
Well, we've got some things going. I just can't mention right now, but everything is looking good. We're looking at least one new business possibly coming into Avery County. We're meeting with a couple other people on some other items, and you know, we're just out there working on it. We're just trying to bring everything in we can. You know the old saying, you know, it's until the money's in the bank and, you know, things are set up, it's not there yet.
Can I have you back up to that O'Reilly? I don't know anything about the O'Reillys.
Eric, O'Reilly's is an auto parts business very similar to Quest and Napa. I don't know that much more about whether they address any more of a specific marketplace or not. I don't know if anybody else has had any experience. I've never been in O'Reilly's, but from what I understand, kind of similar to a Napa or a Quest. It's one of the things that puzzles me. You know, we've got McDonald's, we've got Hardee's. We're going to have a Bojangles. Now we're going to have potentially 3 auto parts stores, and yet we are hard pressed to get in a second supermarket. But be that as it may, we leave that in Dave's hands, and I'm sure he's been frustrated with all his efforts and so
That's
far.
That's going to be in Newland?
Yes. You know where Avery Tire is, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, right, not across the street, but next door, where the Avery Journal offices used to be.
Okay, I know. All right.
They've done quite a bit. I mean, I've looked at site plans and construction plans and permit applications, so it looks like they're serious. I'm not sure if the property has actually changed hands yet or not, but it seems like it's a go. And
to my knowledge, the Phillips guys at Avery Tire, they already own that building.
Yes, yes.
And I think they're the entrepreneurs that are putting that in place, the O'Reillys.
Okay, okay. And I did get a call from a gentleman who is starting a junk removal business called Ridge Ranger Services. He comes out of a extensive background in law enforcement, et cetera, and retired, and said he was getting bored and realized that it seemed like here in Avery County, someone that would be willing to come to someone's house and basically remove whatever. And one of the things that I thought was interesting, if he was asked to remove, for example, anything in the way of furniture, appliances, whatever, that was still serviceable, he was going to ask those people if it would be all right with them if he donated them locally, like, you know, whether it's whammy or whatever. And so, at any rate, another new business. He had a lot of questions relative to startup, and of course I just referred him to Alan Cook, and he was very appreciative of that, and away he went. The other thing that I guess I will leave it up to all of you guys, if we want to take up, as the Avery County Economic Development Committee, actually endorsing an Avery County occupancy tax. It is my understanding that the Board of Commissioners is going to take a look at that this year, and I'm thinking that maybe if we as Economic Development could say that we universally, unanimously support their efforts in that regard, maybe that would be another push in the right direction. So open the floor to ideas, suggestions, recommendations.
Well, I think everybody knows that I would be very much for that. I see money just left on the table. There, you are full of VRBO and Airbnbs out in the county. The only places that are able to benefit from that are the municipalities that have made their own occupancy tax districts. So there's a huge amount of territory that doesn't have occupancy tax collection, yet people are staying there. People don't mind paying that 6%, and it's a way that visitors help support everything else that needs to go on in the county. So I would definitely be for that.
I agree with Kate. My only thing is, where does that money come into, and does it only come to one entity?
The money actually comes into the county tax collection office, and then it is put aside in an account for the Tourism Development Authority Board to determine what to do with it. And usually when you have gotten your occupancy tax set up, you have to go through the legislature to do that. So in the process of doing that, you have determined what the money's going to be used for at that point. So it's part of the legislation.
Mm-hmm.
So it can actually be used for more than one entity.
Well, the Tourism Development Authority Board will disperse it out to where it needs to go.
Okay.
And Dave, as I understand it from Kate at a previous meeting, it can go into the general fund, and Kate, you correct me if I'm wrong, it can go into the general fund, and apparently a lot of leeway is given to the county as to how they want to use those funds.
Yes,
So
that is true. The legislature, if the legislature supports your bill to start occupancy tax in your county, using the money to go into the general fund, or using the money to go partly to tourism marketing, or using it for tourism related, however you want to set that up, then you can spend the money in those ways. Oak Island is a good example where the money just goes into the general fund. Up here on Beach Mountain, it goes 2/3 into marketing and 1/3 into tourism related. But even that's, kind of nebulous, because if, say, you build a park, is that a community development project or is that tourism related? Well, up here, we consider those things tourism related. So you can do a lot of good in your community regardless of how you specify the money.
Mhm.
So the TDA would be an additional board set up in this county, correct?
Yes, and those people would be designated by the county commission. And usually a TDA board then hires a person that manages their programs, but not necessarily. Now, to pay for that, collecting all of the money and managing the expenses, you use the county tax collector and the county finance officer, and they take 3% off of the top of the money that's collected. So up here, they pull in money that goes to pay our tax office and our finance officer who serve us as the TDA.
So Kate, if that generated, let's say, a workload in excess of what current staff could be, that money could be used then to hire a person or a part-time person to aid that administrative responsibility?
Yes, yeah, you can use it. You can use it however you need to as the county. You can use that
Okay.
administrative 3% however you want to.
I'm just thinking from the standpoint of, that added administrative burden not be considered by the Board of Commissioners something that was insurmountable, and it sounds like we can
Yeah.
cover that.
Mhm.
Excellent, excellent. Would someone want to make a motion that the Avery County Economic Development Committee vote on supporting the county's efforts to move forward on this?
I will
Yes.
make that motion.
I will
Yeah.
second that.
That was Clayton who seconded. A show of hands, please. And if Susan raises her hands, then it'll be unanimous. I don't have to break a tie. And if you all agree, I will, between now and the next meeting, I don't know if I'll attend the next board meeting, but I will make them aware of our position on this, and with the idea that we are strongly encouraging them to move forward and hopefully make this happen for Avery County. Because I agree with Kate. This is a bit of a pot of gold that's sitting out there, and just are not dipping into it, and that's a shame.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely is.
Okay, excellent, excellent. You all remember here a couple of weeks ago, I bypassed you all to do a letter for the Kill and Chill project. I didn't mean to bypass you all. It seemed to me the time was of the essence, and I just went ahead and did it, and I believe I shared the letter with you all. That letter was approved this afternoon. I have signed it, and it has currently been delivered by Philip to Jerry. So that letter is now an official position on the part of the county regarding encouragement of having this Kill and Chill program go forward. And I'm going to ask Jerry to give us a little bit more detail because in talking to Jerry, it looks like this is going to be kind of a long-range staged project rather than something that is going to be USDA approved and value-added products can come out of it immediately. So Jerry, you've got the floor.
Okay. I spoke with Jim the other day, and that they're also applying for a multitude of grants because this thing that when they got down and looked at it and got the engineer in, it was approaching about $4 million to get it all done. So they're applying for a Tobacco Trust Fund grant and a USDA Rural Business Development Grant program to help fund part of it. The letter we're doing is going to help get the water and sewer done and help get a building there. The Watauga Butchery, Robert Shipley is going on to applying for a couple other grants at the behest of the Tobacco Trust Fund people who said, they basically said, here's how you need to do it. And they're helping them. They also have the High Country Council of Governments helping them with a couple more grants that'll tag along with the Golden Leaf if they get it. And finally, the last part, the last piece of it is the red leg, which I don't know if anyone's familiar with. But red leg is the Rural Economic Development Loan Enterprise Grant System. And basically you can get a 30-year note at like 1 or 2% interest. So whatever doesn't get funded through these other grant entities, it'll be handled through that position. You know, talking with Jim, it looks very favorable. All the people they've had meetings with these different groups all look pretty favorably on this because there is accountability with it. You know, basically the Watauga County will be the leaseholder, so to speak, and then the Watauga Butchery is going to be the lease, you know, the leasee, and you know, if they can get this all done, what it means is initially is that it'll be USDA facility where you can bring a living cow, have it slaughtered and chilled for 7 days. And then at that point in time, if I own the cow, I can either have Watauga Butchery continue on and process it, or I can bring it somewhere else to process it. And that's where it can benefit us greatly, because it would be an easy step for us to develop someone to go into that sort of business of doing the actual processing. It would have to be USDA qualified processor, but yet that would still provide another business opportunity for someone over here. So right now, our guys can benefit from it by having their cows slaughtered via USDA, and then allow some other processing company to process it for them, or to develop their own processing company over here to do the same. So it seems really long-winded and whatnot, but it's a pretty simple process they're going through, and from what Jim has said, and from all the, you know, they have their contacts are telling them that it looks really good for them at this point. So, and what we're going to plan on doing as far as support is providing educational pieces, providing tours, providing things such as our trailer for anyone to use, helping them get their animals over there, having educational programs at the site as well to introduce our livestock producers to it. And I think, you know, all in all, I think it'll be a benefit for all of our guys to have something closer, and less miles driven and more money in their pocket.
And what you would say too, Jerry, right? It's the removal of a huge hurdle from the standpoint of, do I want to raise some kind of animal for market and slaughter when I've got to travel so far to get the animal slaughtered, and I got to make reservations so far in advance?
Yeah, it'll be a benefit. I mean, the benefit's going to be is that they're not going to have to travel 2 hours, and they're going to have an opportunity other than just taking it to the market. You know, right now, if you take it to the market, you can get whatever the price is there, and it fluctuates a little bit, but it's nowhere close to being value added. And so this will give opportunity for our smaller producers to have a slaughterhouse closer, because Watauga Butchery is basically said they're gonna try to get Hickory Nut Farms, who takes their cattle from Wilkes County out to either Kansas or someplace like that, Arkansas or Kansas, to get their cattle slaughtered. Have that be either Cornerstone, try to get them to be their Cornerstone customer, and then have all the different spots for the smaller guys as well. So it looks pretty promising. It looks like it's going to benefit our guys, and I don't think it's going to hurt anyone that's in the present business of doing it.
All right, excellent. And I would just tell you all, because I'm too far away, you can't see it, but the letter has our logo at the top. It's on Avery County Economic Development Committee letterhead. It's got my name, it's got Philip's name, it's got our contact telephone numbers and emails, and signed by me on the bottom. So it really is. Oh, Jerry's showing it to you. It is an official endorsement coming from the county, and I'm just delighted that the county's taken the affirmative action and the proactive action to go ahead and get it done. Okay. Obviously, nothing on education because of COVID-19 in schools. I'm sure, Melinda, you looking at the new business directory. It's great. I think our economic development Avery County ad couldn't have been better placed. So if you've all had an opportunity to pick up some copies, hopefully you'll agree. If you haven't, then you can stop by, pick up some copies. It's a great piece of work. Thank you. Melinda,
Thank
you got anything you want to add?
No.
Okay.
I like to make a comment quickly. I had some guests and I got mine in the mail and I showed it to them and they thought it looked nice and was informative. So third-party compliments.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay.
If I can make one more point, that's a request. Do we have as Avery County any stickers about Avery County for putting on cars? I know I have received the Chamber of Commerce one, but it was very small. I would like something bigger. Has there ever been any thought to doing Avery County stickers?
There are some, and because they put the brand new logo on a number of the Avery County vehicles. Let me check with Philip and see if we can either scale them down or get sizes from the sign shop. I believe it's the Avery County sign shop that has produced them. I'll get back to you on that, Eric.
Okay, I think it would be a neat promotional item.
Okay. And Eric, are you thinking something in terms of the size that, for example, like the Avery County Chamber of Commerce, the decal that they provide, is that the size that you're thinking in terms of?
No, something medium size that you would put on a back window of a car, or you could put on, if you have a blank space on the front end license plate. You know, we don't have one for North Carolina, so I've seen Banner Elk has a BE, and there's I think I might have seen a Beach Mountain, something like that too. But for Avery County, it would be nice to have something like that too.
All right, let me see what we can get out of the Avery County sign shop, and I'll let you know. And when I do, I'll let everybody know.
Okay.
I mean, it's only 25 minutes after 6, and of course, without a guest speaker and without a big agenda and everybody being virtual, is there anything else that we should be thinking about doing or considering in the future? All right. Hopefully, maybe as this year progresses, we will be able to get back to the point where we can consider going and doing the workshop that we had scheduled for last spring. That would be great. And maybe when we get into 2022, the schools will be in a position where they can be comfortable in allowing outsiders in, and we can go back to doing junior achievement. So I would say, unless someone has something else, to keep in mind that our next meeting is going to be on Tuesday, March 30th. Same time, same place, and I'll let you know if we're going to do it virtually or not. I'm quite sure that we will be doing it virtually at least one more month. Let me check. I think we covered everything that I had down here. I will say I did have an opportunity before we came here, a very short opportunity, to look at the website test site, if that's too many words of the site. It was just really interesting because I'm looking at color, I'm looking at graphics, I'm saying, wow, this looks attractive. I didn't have time to really look into it. I just kind of glanced over it, but I was really encouraged with what I saw and what Boomer and his team have accomplished. So that was a high point for me for this afternoon. So if there really is nothing else, I don't need to entertain a motion to adjourn. We can basically say that if there is no objection to closing this meeting, and hearing no objection, this meeting is officially adjourned. And thank you all, and everybody stay safe and well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys
Bye.
too. You guys
Thank
too.
you for all being
Bye.
here.